98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com presents the Mid-Columbia Today Show with Mark Bailey. Special thanks to our sponsors, Skyline Hospital, Eastside Paving, and Del Carpine Automotive. Now, here's Mark Bailey.
And we are here today, Wednesday, with Mid-Columbia Morning. I'm Marti Dane, and I have in the studio for you today Mike Schend, representing the Hood River County Education Foundation. And in the second half of the show, we're going to have Mary Alejandre and Joe Gillock from the Washington Gorge Action Programs and also Columbia Cascade Housing Corporation. But before we get to that, I want to share a few things. What happened in history today, July 22nd, on the political side. In 1862, President Abraham Lincoln presented to his cabinet a preliminary draft of the Emancipation Proclamation. 1862. In a little bit later, 1937, the U.S. Senate rejected President Franklin D. Roosevelt's proposal to add more justices to the Supreme Court. A little bit of a twist on this. We had a whole lot of crime prevention and captures that happened on July 22nd. I don't know why these things tend to cluster the way they do, but in 1934, bank robber John Dillinger was shot to death by federal agents outside Chicago's Biograph Theater. In 2015, a federal grand jury indictment charged Dylan Roof, the man accused of killing 9 black church members in Charleston, South Carolina, with 33 counts, including hate crimes that made him eligible for the death penalty. Also, in 1992, Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar escaped from his luxury prison near Medellin, but he was killed by security forces in December a year later. In 1991, police in Milwaukee arrested Jeffrey Dahmer, who later confessed to murdering 17 men and boys. Once in a while, things get a little more, adventurous. And we have to remind you that. Also on this day, in 1933, aviator Wiley Post landed at Floyd Bennett Field in New York City, completing the first solo flight around the world in 7 days, 18 hours, and 49 minutes. One of these things that comes up these days is our attention spans getting shorter. I cannot imagine what kept Wiley Post entertained by himself for 7 days, 18 hours, and 49 minutes, except that just desire to complete the task. So congratulations to him. Also, we have the Hood River County Fair, Day 1. While you're thinking about that, you might enjoy Hammock Day, or perhaps Lion's Share Day. I don't know how National Rat Catchers Day ended up on here, but I bet that's been there for a while. It's also, now somebody should call in and explain this one to me, it's Pie Approximation Day. It's National BLT Sandwich Day, National Mango Day. And just because I had to throw a few new things in there, in 1844, Charles Goodyear was granted the patent for the vulcanization process, which made rubber durable and weather resistant. So since 1844, we have had good enough tires to make the ride a little less bumpy. And in 1958, Ruth Handler with the Mattel Toy Company officially registered the trademark for, you got it, the iconic doll Barbie. And today, in 2026, we are here with Mid-Columbia Today. I'm Marti Dane with Cameron Eisenberg. We'll be back after this.
Tired of boring jobs? Wake up, literally. Ground and Hood River is hiring. We're not just brewing coffee, we're fueling mornings, rescuing Mondays, and handing out happiness in a cup. Whether you're a decaf sipper, double shot dependent, or somewhere in between, we're looking for people who believe medium roast is a mood, not just a menu item. No robots, no stiff uniforms, just good vibes, good beans, and a crew that's got your back. If you're ready to caffeinate the world, apply today at Ground and Hood River. Smiles and espresso included.
Join Aniche Sellers for the 9th annual Food for All, an evening where community comes together to make a difference. Friday, August 14th, starting at 4:30. Enjoy a celebration of everything local with incredible local food, award-winning wine, live music, and local art. Your support helps benefit Washington Gorge Action Program's Food Bank Network, serving more than 39% of residents across Skamania and Klickitat counties. Gather, give back, and celebrate local. Get your tickets now through the banner at WAGAP.org. Don't miss Food for All at Aniche Sellers.
Did you know Skyline Health in White Salmon has its very own sports medicine doc superstar? That's right. Dr. Ryan Petering trained at OHSU, cared for professional Nike athletes, and even spent more than 15 years teaching other doctors how it's done. From sporting injuries to arthritis, he's here to help you move better, feel stronger, and keep doing the things you love. Want to live life to its fullest? Step right up and visit myskylinehealth.org. Skyline Health, world-class care right here at home.
Mid-Columbia Today is a public affairs program of Bicoastal Media Columbia River, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com. Now, back to Mark Bailey.
And welcome back. This is Marti Dane. I am in the studio today with a honestly, I feel like a local legend. I say that, you're going to scoff at me, Mike. I know you will. But there's this thing on Strava that a whole lot of athletes in the area follow on Strava. And so if you go out and you like ride a trail in Post Canyon or whatever you do, if you do that more than anybody else in the community like this year, you become the local legend. So if one can become a local legend by riding the hot lap at Post Canyon, putting decades and decades into our community through your time and efforts and energy to make it a better place, I think qualifies. But I will leave the bragging on the side for a moment as you're here representing the Hood River County Education Foundation. Welcome, Mike Schend.
Well, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's always fun for me to learn what's new, not only this week, but kind of like things that are happening in our community that maybe people don't realize have been happening for a while. And I know that the Education Foundation has quite a history and a lot of breadth these days as well. So you've been on the board for a while. What kinds of things are happening there?
Well, the main thing that we do is scholarships. I mean, that's our focal point, but we have all kinds of other support bases for students and teachers and staff in the school district. And that's what it is. It's a support nonprofit foundation to support education. That's exactly what we do. And what we're going to talk about today is an event to raise money.
And so if you're out there wondering how you can get involved in what you can do, we do have The Focus happening at the Ruins on Thursday, July 23rd. Tell us a little bit about who's going to be there and where did you find them? And
Okay, well, the name of the band is Jennifer Batten and Full Steam. Now, Jennifer Batten is an icon in the rock world, but a lot of people don't know her name. She was the lead guitarist for Michael Jackson for over 10 years. And then when he passed away, she went and became the lead guitarist for Jeff Beck. And then when he decided to go a different direction with his music, she moved to Portland and formed her own band, which she calls Full Steam. Now, if you've never heard Jennifer or heard of her name, this is an opportunity to see a guitar icon here in Hood River. She's one of the top 100 guitar players in the world. She travels all over the world and performs. And in Europe, she's a star because they just break down the doors to get her autograph. But in Portland, because she's local and been around a lot, people don't see her that way. But she is an amazing guitar player. And so here's an opportunity to not only help the foundation raise funds, it's a great opportunity to see somebody of that caliber, that performer of that level, come to Hood River.
I'm kind of excited already. Mike brought in one of the posters, and I'm checking this out. I know you may have seen them around town already, but look a little closer next time you do, because these outfits, this whole energy that they are bringing, there are 5 additional performers in addition to Jennifer, and they got a look They definitely do.
Yeah.
I think it's called Full Steam, and definitely representing steampunk. And tell me a little bit about the music? Do you know?
Well, she does a variety of pop, rock type stuff, and she'll do even a segment of Michael Jackson's stuff, because that's what she did for 10 years. She was with him through all the good times that he had, and she was up there on stage at the Super Bowl with him and stuff like that. So she's used to his music, and she always puts a flair of that in her concerts. So you'll hear a little bit of Michael Jackson too.
And that should be fun, not only for those who've been around for a long time, but also for the kids. This is a family-friendly, all-ages event.
Right.
It's an outdoor venue, and thank you to the stars and the sun, as the temperatures are going to be down a little bit more tomorrow.
I know. That's what I heard. I was thinking.
Worried.
I was thinking the same thing. I was watching the forecast, and I thought, oh, great, it's going to be in the 80s. So
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yep. And if you haven't been down to the ruins, if you haven't had a chance to get down there, it's down by the railroad. And it has its own, just, unique atmosphere there. It's an outdoor venue. And the event itself goes from 5, it opens at 5:30.
Yeah, it starts at 6.
Show goes until 9 p.m. You don't have to eat before you get there. There's going to be food present.
Right.
Do you know who's doing that?
Yeah, it's Columbia Gorge Crepes.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah. And they do not only dinner crepes, they do dessert crepes. So, yeah, you can have either one or both, So, yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah, I was just going to say, crepes are not for breakfast anymore, or not just for breakfast anymore. I am excited. I actually have tickets, and so I'm going. I imagine that they might sell out, so you can get your tickets online now.
Right, through tickettomato.com. And that probably be a good idea to do that, because it also leads you to a raffle that we're doing for vacations. You can buy tickets for 4 different win 4 different vacations, and you get to choose which one you want to put your ticket into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've sparked my interest for a second here. So what are the vacations for? What kind?
Well, one of them is kind of unique. It's a stay weekend in a yurt. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what a yurt is.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, and that's over across the river, and that's really one of those really interesting and novel things. Then we have almost a week at Eagle Crest, kind of a golfing kind of thing, because Eagle Crest is just, has a lot of golf courses and hiking, biking, stuff like that. And then there's another one that's Labor Weekend at Eagle Crest. Both of these of Eagle Crest are in a 2-bedroom condo with full kitchen and deck and barbecue, the whole thing. And then you get total use of all of the amenities at Eagle Crest, the pools, the athletic centers, stuff like that. And then the third one is a week at Whistler up in Canada.
Nice.
Yeah. So you get to choose which one you want.
Yeah. It's kind of like any different things to fit different people's personalities.
Right.
And honestly, this is such a great organization that it's hard to think that you do need a reward in order to donate or to give. And yet at the same time, it's always nice to be able to have a chance at getting something back. I imagine that some of those vacations and other things that come are donations from community members and from organizations as well.
All of it.
Yeah. It's just an example of the kind of support you guys have.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, the tickets for the concert are $25, and like you said, the venue has a limit of how many people are allowed in there, and we're expecting hundreds of people. So if you want to be sure you're going to get in to see this tomorrow night, then just go online with tickettomato.com and buy your tickets. You did it, you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I actually have a couple of other friends that are on the board, and they've been telling us about all the events that are coming up, and we've been trying to get involved. I know we had raffle tickets for the e-bike.
Right.
That was one of those that I think a whole group of people banded together, bought a chunk of tickets in hopes that we might be able to donate a bike to a friend of ours that we really wanted to be able to change him from being an analog biker to an e-biker.
Right. That was quite an e-bike.
That was
over a
quite an
$10,000 e-bike.
Amazing.
Which I was telling Barry, who's and Matthew, who's on our board. I said my first 2 cars weren't that expensive. Bikes are changing a lot.
No kidding. Well, I also have just more interest in what the Education Foundation does, and I don't know, I guess you've been there for a long time, and so you've seen how much they've been involved in the community, how much they've been involved with the school district. Has the importance of this kind of funding grown over the years? Because I know the schools go through budget challenges, and
this is a big part of supplementing, some of the things that they can't do, especially scholarships. The schools do not give kids money to go to college. That's what we are all about. And last year we gave out almost $400,000 to kids, and that's not just the kids that are coming out of high school. That's also the kids that are in college that live here, that grew up here, can come back all the way through their senior year of college and continue to apply for funding. And we follow them all the way through college. We just don't give it to them when they become a senior in high school and say goodbye. They can come back.
It's really about developing that relationship and in investing in their success.
Yeah.
I just learned about that. I ran into one of your scholarship awardees, and she's going to be a senior this coming year, and said, one of the things going into her year was a scholarship from Hood River County
Education Foundation.
Foundation.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I really did think it was just that first start. But it makes a big difference when you've got support each year to make sure that not only that they get out of the community and invest in their education, but that they finish it. And
the college is becoming prohibitive, financially. Anything they can get is going to be beneficial to get the door open for them. That's what this does. It doesn't pay for their college. It pays to get them started. It gives them that push in the door. Yeah.
You also talked about or mentioned that there's help for various projects with the schools or for teachers if they want to do different things. What other kinds of things?
Well, we have what's called the Impact Teaching Grant Program, and what happens there is all the staff in the schools, including non-teachers, if they have an idea of how they could impact their students in their school through a project of some kind, or it's a teacher in a classroom, they write a grant to us. It's a competitive grant process, and we fund those based on how much money we have from events like this that we're doing with Jennifer Batten. That helps us fund a lot of those grants that come through, and those are up and beyond anything that the schools are going to do with the budgeting process. These are projects in the classroom that benefit the students and the school, and the teachers are creative enough to come up with these projects, and then they write a grant.
Do you have some examples of things that?
We've done everything from greenhouses to science, a lot of books, a lot of microscopes, electron microscopes, all kinds of things that are up and beyond what you would normally go to the principal and say, I want 20 microscopes, and they go look at you and go, that's not going to happen. So that's what these grants are all about.
It's one of those things that I think makes Hood River County School District a good place for your kids to be, but also just like a place where you can shift based on the changing tides. You can help to make sure that a teacher's curriculum is relevant to where they want to go, and not just something that needed to be taught at the very basic level, but it can be that extra. But it can also kind of fill in for when things get tough at the school.
Right. And they are really creative. Yeah, when we say they're impact teaching grants, they are impacting the students in the classroom. And those teachers have taken the initiative to come up with these creative projects. Yeah, so it's pretty pretty enough fun to watch it and read them and then give money away for those. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be. It's both fun and also a little, discerning. You have to say no. Not everybody does get awarded, and yet more and more creativity can be supported with your support. So go out and buy a ticket. If you find yourself there, make sure to look around at what else is available for raffles and such. But you don't have to be social. You don't have to come out to the music. You can just donate to Hood River County Education Foundation. And I think, where do you find... You can Google anything these days. What am I talking about?
If I give you the website address, that people aren't going to even remember it.
I know, right?
So I just go Hood River County Education Foundation, and it'll pop up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's simple. And go to our website, take a look at it, and the support of these kinds of events. We've done other events that people remember. We brought Dionne Warwick here. We brought Melissa Manchester here. We're bringing Pink Martini here next year. We've already signed a contract with them to perform at the middle school historic auditorium. So these are the kinds of events that we can raise money on that people really like to participate in.
Yeah. Mike, it's really fun to see you again. When you walked in, I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if he'll remember me. Because I do remember working with you on the community education program, where you had, honestly, some of the most amazing education experiences available for people. And that was
And you were part of that.
That was years ago.
You taught that a lot of
did.
classes for us.
Listening classes and conflict resolution skills.
Yeah.
I know I run into people all the time that have some connection to things that you have done or things that you were personally involved in. We're going to see you again in a couple weeks.
Correct. Yeah, I'll be back for the Families in the Park concerts to talk about the Jackson Park concerts coming up in August. And that's a different hat I wear. That's the Lions Club. So I'll be talking about that in a couple of weeks.
Well, with all of your hats, I just want to say, as a community member and a parent, thank you for your investments.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time to do this. But get out to Jennifer Batten tomorrow night at the Ruins.
And our time right now is 8:28. We'll be back in the studio with our next guest coming up.
Hi, this is Michelle from Hood River Supply. Not only are we Hood River's go-to for hardware, supplies, rentals, and more, we're also your local stop to fuel up and hit the road. Our Cenex Roadmaster XL Premium Diesel Fuel and Cenex Maxtron Diesel Engine Oil work together to deliver power, performance, and protection for your cars, trucks, and hardworking equipment. Drive farther, run stronger, trust the fuel and products built to keep you moving. Available at Hood River Supply on the Heights and in Odell, your co-op store.
If your car is dinged, dented, or damaged in any way, call Jack's. Jack's Body Shop and Rhino Linings of the Gorge. Jack's Body Shop and Rhino Linings of the Gorge is a family-owned auto body collision repair and paint shop. Jack's is an authorized dealer of Rhino Lining spray-on protective bed liners, too. We've been in business since 1969. So call Jack's. 296-9170. 296-9170. 621 East 2nd Street, downtown The Dalles. Jack's Body Shop and Rhino Linings of the Gorge.
Coffee for Mid-Columbia Today guests is provided by Hood River Coffee Roasters, the Gorge's local coffee roasters, on Tucker Road on the Heights in Hood River.
Mid-Columbia Today time is 8:31. This is Cameron Eisenberg. I'm filling in for Mark Bailey. This is the news. The Port of Hood River says its purchase and sale agreement with Amazon has officially expired after the company did not notify the port by the July 20th deadline that it intended to move forward with buying approximately 11 acres in the Lower Hanno Mill Industrial Park for a proposed last-mile distribution facility. The agreement, signed in September 2025, gave Amazon time to complete environmental reviews, engineering studies, and the local land use process. But the proposed project was ultimately denied by the Hood River County Planning Commission and remains under appeal. The Port Commission will consider returning the property to the market while exploring future economic development opportunities that support family wage jobs and long-term growth, emphasizing that the decision reflects the expiration of the agreement rather than the merits of Amazon's proposal. A popular Columbia River Gorge hiking destination will remain closed indefinitely as crews assess damage and begin recovery efforts following the Lyle Hill fire. Friends of the Columbia Gorge announced the 540-acre Lyle Cherry Orchard Preserve will stay off limits after the June wildfire burned 226 acres on the Washington side of the river, damaging trails and leaving potentially hazardous trees that need evaluation. The fire forced evacuations in the nearby town of Lyle before crews contained the blaze, though its cause remains under investigation. Officials say repairs and ecological recovery will take months and are asking visitors to avoid the preserve while the landscape heals. The Oregon Department of Justice has declined to file criminal charges against 12 candidates who ran for Portland office in 2024, despite finding they likely violated state election law by exchanging campaign contributions with one another in an effort to qualify for public matching funds. In letters sent Tuesday, the department said the candidates could have faced prosecution under a law that prohibits soliciting contributions in exchange for financial payback, but cited the unique circumstances of Portland's first-ranked choice election, the large number of first-time candidates, and a lack of evidence they knowingly broke the law. Officials warned that similar conduct in future elections could result in criminal prosecution. Washington State paid a record $537 million in settlements and jury verdicts related to government misconduct during the past fiscal year, adding pressure to state finances as officials seek ways to reduce costly claims. Looking at the temperatures, it is 78 degrees in Hood River, 80 degrees in the Dalles, 79 degrees in Stevenson. There is a heat advisory warning in effect until tonight in Hood River and Stevenson, and until tomorrow night in the Dalles. Mid-Columbia Today time is 8:34.
Hey, it's Zach from Del Carpine Automotive, where we specialize in keeping European rides happy. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, and even those tall Sprinter vans that look like hotels on wheels. We know them inside and out. And if you're wondering where we went, we didn't go far. We're just now 5 minutes from our old shop in our brand new location in the Upper Hood River. Same trusted crew, more space, and the same honest, family-owned service. Come see us at Del Carpine Automotive. European expertise and Columbia Gorge roots.
Hey, Gorge neighbors, it's Angela from Cedar Creek Alpacas. You don't have to drive hours or spend a fortune on gas for a memorable summer adventure. Right here, just 15 minutes west of Hood River Bridge in Cook, Washington, you'll find cute baby alpacas, mountain views, and a peaceful farm experience the whole family will love. We're locally owned, close to home, and proud to have been voted best in the Gorge for attraction and family entertainment. Come slow down, meet the herd, and make a day of it at Cedar Creek Alpacas in Cook, Washington. More at cedarcreekalpacas.com.
The Hood River County Fair returns July 22nd through 25th. Bring the whole family for days packed with carnival rides, great fair food, livestock, exhibits, local traditions, and unforgettable entertainment. Friday night, celebrate with the incredible show band Bondadosis and Grupo Maravilla de Robin Maravilla live on stage. Then Saturday night, country legends Black Hawk take the stage for a concert you won't want to miss. Summer memories are made at the Hood River County Fair in Odell, July 22nd through 25th. Concerts are free with fair admission.
Mid-Columbia Today is a public affairs program of Bicoastal Media Columbia River, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com. Now, back to Mark Bailey.
And we are back in the studio. This is Marti Dane, and I am here with a collection of collaborators. We have in the studio Maria Alejandre with Washington Gorge Action Programs. She's the Civic Engagement Director. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
And we also have Joe Gillock, Columbia Cascade Housing Corporation Asset Manager. Good morning, Joe.
Morning.
And just in case we don't have enough to talk about, they brought Juan Reyes with them. He is the Washington WAGAP Associate Director. So just in case, good morning, Juan.
Good morning.
We are here to talk about something pretty exciting. It's in regards to the programs that everybody already does with WAGAP and with the housing programs, but it's in particular focused on one of our outlying communities. I don't know who wants to start us off here in talking about what's happening in the heart of Roosevelt.
Do it? Okay. Yeah. Well, Roosevelt. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Roosevelt. It's a very, very rural, small town in Washington. I believe is in the edge of the Cleta County. There's a population about 200 people there. So we, Joe has some apartments over there that we start talking about providing some assistance. We have been collaborating with the school and having like energy assistance events and Christmas events, and we saw the need of the community. So we were able to talk to Joe, and Joe was willing to kind of like share a space in there. So we are able to have like a resource place in there. Roosevelt.
So cool.
So we have a property in Roosevelt called Pueblo del Rio. It's 20 units, and it's it was designed for farm workers and large families, and it's income restricted. So lower income households. Most of the households are current or former farm workers, and most of them are Spanish-speaking primarily. And like Mari said, it's at least 35 miles in either direction from the nearest town. There's not really a lot of resources there, and so I think it can feel kind of isolating for those households. So it's really nice to. Whenever WAGAP comes out, and now we have a dedicated space on the property where they can meet with residents, but also other community members.
This sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the mobile food bank has been present in there since 2022.
Oh, wow.
So I think that was a connection that we have with Columbia Cascade Housing Authorities.
Yeah. As you describe kind of where it is. I mean, I'm familiar with the area. Show a little bit of my privilege here because I go out there to go wing foiling on the water. It's a really nice big area and a beautiful park and a beautiful inland fishing zone. And I know that the people who live there, they don't have much in terms of even businesses. There is a little convenience store, which it is kind of a convenience store. Not so. Hearing that the mobile food bank is out there regularly,
every month, every fourth Thursday, they're over there.
And when you talk about low-income housing, I think the mention in here is that equates to approximately at or below 50% of the area median income. In this case, that's $48,500. So we're not talking about people who aren't earning anything. We're talking about people who are, and yet at the same time, it's not enough to make ends meet.
Yeah, I mean, I would emphasize, like you said, that most of the families work really hard.
Absolutely.
It's workforce housing, it's farm worker housing. So, but it is a pretty isolated place, and so any kind of engagement that we can bring out there, and a space for WAGAP to meet with folks is a huge improvement.
Yeah, I know that a lot of our world these days is kind of an invisible in existing online. It's existing in social media, but to be able to look somebody in the eye and say, hey, I'm here, and to be able to understand not only what a text message or an email or something might convey. So I imagine you get to hear some stories and really connect with who you're working with.
I used to work as a community health worker, and that's how I started going to Roosevelt. I remember the first time that I went over there to visit some of our participants. I noticed the way that they were living and the poverty that a lot of people were having there. I remember that I had one of my participants, she was in a RV, and I remember when I went to visit her, she was a single mom, and I remember she had buckets hanging from the ceiling to trap the water coming from the roof when the rain. So that's actually we collaborate with Joe, and we were able to get her apartment, and she applied for rental assistance with WAGAP, so we were able to get her in the apartment. So that's how our relationship started, and we thought like this is really good to collaborate and to work together.
And she moved into the property this year. So before I think we got her in during winter, so she was able to be there in winter.
That makes such a difference in the lives of, an incredible difference in one person's life, but also in the way that the community can work together. So you said there are about 200 people.
Yeah, 200 people
out there. Are there resource issues that they face as well? I know that the park that's on the river has water concerns, and Roosevelt doesn't have a whole lot of natural resources happening there. Or is there water power regularity?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so it's an isolated park issue for that.
Yeah, it's really. I see. Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to understand if there was more of a community utility piece.
No, the utilities work pretty good.
Well, it's. I need a little bit better understanding of the kinds of things that are needed. So having a location helps people not only be able to come and understand what's available to them, but is this a one unique place? How many outside satellite type destinations do you have at this point?
I'm not sure, but
other communities where you have a partnership like this, where people can come and see you. And I know that you have an office like in White Salmon Bingen area.
Yeah. There's one in Stevenson, another one in Goldendale, and Bingen. So this will be a place, like we can call it an office, a place that they can go in and request any assistance, like a rental or energy assistance. One other thing that I want to mention is that the school is very small.
Yeah.
Very, very small. So because the district is very small, they don't have a free meals for the kids. So that's another thing another challenge that they have. They have the challenge of transportation. They don't have any public transportation. And a lot of them, the wives don't drive, and so they have to, be home. So, yeah, that's a lot that we can do to the community.
Yeah, so you have a variety of resources that are available that even if somebody is thinking maybe they don't need an apartment or they don't need housing, they might need one of the other programs that you do have available. So it's helpful to be able to really get to know them and get to understand. Yeah. And my apologies, I saw on the press release providing utility and rent assistance, and I was just kind of curious on what kinds of things might be there. So other programs going on that you'd like to update us on? We've got another 10 minutes.
Yeah. I can add a little bit about the place. We have the Pathway Department was able to buy a lot of furniture for the place. We have we actually just had a clothing swap in Goldendale, so we were able to get the remaining clothing. So we're going to take over there and have a clothing closet there for the community, as well as we're going to be storing emergency boxes and what else, Juan? Oh, computers. Yes, we're going to have, we were able to buy computers, so we're going to the plans are to have so they can have access to apply for different jobs, probably a training. We inviting other partners, agencies to, if we can have a training over there for the community. So another thing that I wanted to mention is a lot of the community that if they're not able to work in the in the orchards, they have to drive an hour. I have some of my participants that they needed to go all the way to Umatilla, or everything is an hour away.
Goldendale,
everything.
An hour away,
Pasco's an hour away. The Dalles is an hour away, so everything's like they're like in the middle.
Bridges are far away out there. Maybe paddle boards would be a good to paddle across the river to oh gosh, what is that town that's on the Oregon side? Arlington.
Arlington, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The difference that just having enough money to get gas makes
especially right now,
is huge. Yes, especially right now.
Yeah.
Is there a gas station in Roosevelt?
No.
I didn't think so. So
you have to make sure to have gasoline all the way back and forth, otherwise you're gonna get in the middle.
And I don't necessarily think about agriculture when I think about Eastern Oregon, but there are several right along the river. I mean, the access to water is huge.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
and another thing is that there's a big landfill of Republic garbage. It's over there in Roosevelt.
yeah, which has a lot of jobs.
Yeah, I wonder. Do you have any information about that, Joe?
They're always hiring, but unfortunately, our property is income restricted at a level that's a little too low for those folks currently. So
yeah, and so as always, these are nonprofit organizations that work on grants and work on limited income. This is not the easiest season of life for nonprofits, and so if people are drawn to want to help, what kinds of ways do you accept public help? I think Juan's getting involved.
Well, I was handed the mic, so I don't know if I have much of a choice at this. But yeah, no, thank you so much for asking that question. You are correct. I think there are a lot of nonprofits at this moment that are struggling with funding. Much as we're talking about, we're a rural community, so I know that the resources and donations and grants and things like that are limited because everybody's technically competing for the same kind of funding to be able to provide resources to the community. I think one of the beauties of that dynamic, though, especially being in the rural community, is that we have found ways to collaborate and to work together to apply for similar funding, to work on projects together as in association similar to this project. But yeah, I think at any point, if you're interested in donating or supporting, the financial aspect is great. We do have some food banks. Food donations is also incredibly helpful. But yeah, they can go to wagap.org. So our website, we have our donation page. I'm sure Columbia Cascade has a...
Yeah, Columbia Cascade Housing Corp.org is our website if folks want to check that out. That has information on all of our properties.
Yeah, and so that collaborative piece, I think, is, as I had conversations with larger communities, is like a superpower that we have. One of the things that they shared at one of the last conferences I went to was that they struggle to find common ground sometimes and to come together and work on projects. It's really interesting. But yet here, that's very common. Like it's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful because, again, it just emphasizes what can happen when you come together, come in community, and then again, the community is the one that benefits when you collaborate together. So that's, I think, one of the things that I've noticed is we're working more with the nonprofit community here.
That's inspiring. Yeah, it's one of those things that I really like about living in this small town that we're in the Gorge. Even though we have all these little villages and cities and thriving metropolises like the Dalles, it stands out. We really do end up knowing what's needed a little better.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, I don't know, there's not a lot of duplication.
Yeah, and I think that's
so
always the goal.
It kind of keeps us both focused and also respectful in terms of not trying to do too much and then realizing there's just too many competing efforts. When you really don't have too much, you don't have to compete. You know that you need to work together and fill in where those gaps are. And for people who may be looking for assistance, maybe somehow they're just hearing about this today. I don't know who you are, but if you're out there and you're one of those people, when are you in Roosevelt? And how often?
We are planning to go in.
Oh, did?
Okay. Everything is still in the process, but we're thinking about to be there every Thursday.
Okay.
from 10 or 9 to 3 in the afternoon.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. So every Thursday, not the first Thursday, not the third Thursday, but every Thursday. And having someone to talk to if you've got questions, if you've got ideas. And, one of the other things that all agencies learn when they hear stories is what else is out there. What do people truly need? So then there's more, people are more compelled to do what's needed and really make those connections. I really appreciate the time you've spent with us today. Did you want to add something?
Yes, I want to add something. We are planning to have the opening in the beginning of August. We're going to have a flyer, so if you need more information, you can have follow-ups in Facebook, and we will put in there like when we're going to be able to do the opening.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. We are out of time, and so I want to say a big thank you to Mari, Joe, and Juan for being with us today. And I wish you well out there, and thanks for doing everything you are. We'll be right back after this.
Upgrading your home's heating doesn't have to be overwhelming. Hi, this is Kimberly. A&E Plumbing, Heating & Air's Great Northwest Series is a ducted heat pump designed for homes we see across Oregon and Washington. Whether you use gas or electric, the system adapts to your needs. It qualifies for Energy Trust of Oregon rebates and federal tax credits to keep money in your pocket. Plus, you get 12 years of parts and labor protection and 10-year financing at 2.99% with approved credit. Call A&E today to see what we can do for you. CCB number 203004.
Got a drip that just won't quit? Or a shower that turns cold right when you need it hot? When plumbing goes sideways in the Columbia Gorge, Chinook Plumbing is the family-owned team that's been setting it right since 1989. At Chinook Plumbing, we treat every plumbing problem like it's happening in our own home. From clogged drains to water heaters, gas lines, remodels, sewer and water line replacements, and those unexpected emergencies. We've got you covered. Give us a call or visit us at ChinookPlumbingHoodRiver.com. CCB number 240452.
Tune in weekday mornings at 8:05 and keep up with community events and issues with the Mid-Columbia Today Show on Mid-Columbia's news leaders, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR. Special thanks to our sponsors, Skyline Hospital, Eastside Paving, and Del Carpine Automotive.
And we're back with Mid-Columbia Mornings Today. No, sorry, Mid-Columbia Today. The morning comes before the day. I am excited for our show tomorrow. We have in the first half of the program, History Museum of Hood River County Executive Director Lisa Commander. She's going to be in the studio. We've got a bunch of events coming up for the rest of the summer. And in the second half, we have Brian Despain from Columbia Gorge Community College Aviation Maintenance Program. Also in the studio, talking about a groundbreaking program for the new hangar they're going to have at the regional airport in Dallasport. So lots of things going on in our community. And today is the first day of the Hood River County Fair. Take care of yourself. Make sure you got water with you and shade. I know that Oregonians and Washingtonians do not typically carry an umbrella. But this is one of those crazy things where I think maybe, just possibly, that umbrella could help shade you from the heat. So if you haven't used it for the rain, which I know most of you don't because we don't do that, this might be an opportunity for it. Makes a big difference in the heat. Tomorrow we're going to have a break in the weather, and I think our wind is coming back this afternoon. So hopefully that'll feel a little bit more like what we've been experiencing throughout the summer. And also, because our first guest today was adamant we need to check out these new musicians tomorrow night at the Ruins. The concert for Hood River County Education Foundation is Jennifer Batten and Fulstein. And if you're in the music routine, the Columbia Gorge Bluegrass Festival is also happening Thursday through Sunday at the Skamania County Fairgrounds in Stevenson. We will be back tomorrow with more information on community affairs and what you need to know in this area. For Cameron Eisenberg, I'm Marti Dane. We'll see you tomorrow.
Mid-Columbia Today Show is a public affairs presentation of Bicoastal Media Columbia River. The views expressed on the program are not necessarily those of the station, parent company, or of the sponsors. We welcome your suggestions for future shows. Call us at 541-386-1511. Listen to Mid-Columbia Today where you want. Follow or subscribe to Mid-Columbia Today wherever you download your podcast to get the show delivered every day to your mobile device.